Is everybody okay today? Is everyone okay? This eclipse season has me looking real crazy today, y'all. Just kidding. I know those are the worst glasses I could find. Did anyone lose gravity? Has anyone lost gravity? I am tied to my chair today, and I hope you guys are too, where we fly by the seat of our pants, y'all, over here on the Cryptid Huntress channel. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, and we are about to experience an eclipse today, and several other celestial events in the sky today. If there's any day to look up, it's today. and also, I guess floating up too. I don't think anyone lost gravity. I think that was a pile of crap. Okay, and I think that's for the best for all of us. And so we're here today, and like I said, I hope everybody's doing okay. All right, we're gonna survive this day together, everybody. And of course, I have a fantastic show for you guys. We have Bruce Brown here in the studio with us today. And we're going to get into some interesting creatures out of Tennessee today. The Tennessee's Pitty Pat. Have you guys heard of the Pitty Pat? It's brand new to me, but we're going to take a dive into that. It took a baby, okay, back in the 1860s. And people still report this thing to this day. Now, is it a feline humanoid? Is it a wampus cat? Is it a black panther? Is it a dogman? Is it a Bigfoot? I don't know. We're going to ask Bruce what he thinks today. Some people think it is an apparition, and that's all it is. But I think it could be. Maybe it's all of them. Who knows? Okay, but we're going to get into that. Also, Bruce has been up exploring some caves up in Tennessee lately. We've got some video of some Bigfoot graves and some pygmy graves as well today that Bruce has taken, and we're going to get into that later in the show. We're also going to talk about some of these celestial alignments, and I don't know, we may talk about some snakes today as well. You guys want to talk about snakes? I got a cool video if y'all want to see it, and we'll watch that too. So buckle up, buttercups. Don't let the gravity take you off. And let's get into it. If you guys want to check my stuff out, go over to thecryptidhuntress.com. You can find all of my shows over there, and all my calendar of events and whatever else. My social media links are over there. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I do have a Patreon, and I have a shop over on Etsy. Just look up War Woman Goods. I am the War Woman. Check out my goods. That sounds weird. Okay, but let's get into our show today. I do appreciate all your support. Thank you to all my moderators for being here today, and for everybody in the chats. Y'all are awesome. By the way, I got to go on Old Line Cryptids last night with the fellas over there on YouTube. Y'all please go over there and check that show out, and give them a subscribe. That was a fun show. I think it went 3 hours last night, and it was a good time. Shout out to all the guys at Old Line Cryptids. Thanks for having me. Okay, well, on this episode of A Glitch in the Matrix, we have Bruce Brown here. We're going to discuss the most terrifying real-life creatures lurking in the shadows of East Tennessee, in the Smoky Mountains, particularly in what locals call Pitty Pat Hollow. A creature has haunted that area since the 1860s, with the first reported account including an overturned horse-drawn carriage accident and the kidnapping of an infant child. This thing is known as the Pitty Pat. Most people who have seen the Pitty Pat describe it as a creature having cat-like features, while some refer to it as a spirit of a young woman. Some others call it an imp. Y'all know what an imp is, right? Nonetheless, dreaded apparitions and flesh and bone creatures haunt this heavily wooded region, striking terror into locals and travelers to this day. We're going to talk about this history of the area, along with the encounters that people have with the Pitty Pat and more. We're also going to talk about these graves that Bruce has been exploring, and we're going to get into these celestial events from today. April, it's August, August the 12th. All right, Bruce is a former law enforcement officer from Tennessee who's had multiple intense Dogman encounters. He served as a patrolman, deputy sheriff, sergeant of patrols, detective, and chief of narcotics. His professional background exposed him to calls on Bigfoot and Dogman encounters. He had his first Dogman encounter while he was hunting. He observed one from a tree stand, and then a couple years later, he had an intense encounter while ginseng hunting. And he's also held a baby Dogman puppy, if you want to call it that. And of course, you can find Bruce over on the Cryptid Wrangler podcast. I see Daniel in the chat. What's up? Larry's usually in here too, with the Cryptid Wrangler podcast, and over on Bigfoot Believers and Other Creatures on Facebook. Please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Bruce Brown. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing?
I'm holding it down. I haven't floated away.
Everybody's staying grounded. When I went to get out of the bed earlier today, I come up quite a bit easier than the normal. So I guess I got a little gravity pull.
A little gravity. Oh my God, the gravity holds weight. Yes. Yep. I'm just glad none of us floated away. We have right now during the show today, I believe we're going to be having an eclipse that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see it in Georgia, probably. But I think you might see it in Tennessee, depending upon how far north you are, Bruce. Let me pull up a chart. This is compliments of Gerald from Midwest Night Watchers. He sent me this. It says, this is Central Time, actually going across the U.S. Yeah, it's going to go right past Tennessee right there. Yep. Around, what is that, 2 o'clock? Somewhere between like 1:45 to like 3 something, probably. It'd be your best time to see it. Central Time. So that's going to be, I guess probably during the show today. So yeah, you guys check it out and see if you're going to be able to see the eclipse today, and be sure you wear your glasses. Maybe not this kind. Get you some good glasses. Okay. But yeah, Bruce, how have you been and what have you been up to?
I went to the conference in McMinnville. Of course, I've been doing good. I twisted my ankle, so I had to limp around the conference. I didn't get to everybody's booth because I had sprained my ankle. But we hung out. I got to hang out with Daryl, Daniel Cahoon from the Magical Journey, Scott Hunt, Billy Howe. It's just the list goes on, and then me and MK sat down and had a frame by frame on his Patty film, which we come up with some new things that were not previously spotted in it, and so we had a good time.
Ooh, can you give me a clue as to what you guys spotted?
He had there was a flash in two frames. Mm-hmm. Okay. Some suspected it was a gun flash from a gun barrel. And then after me studying it, I realized that the flash wasn't from a gun, from my previous law enforcement experience as a detective. And then when I got to watching into the woods above Patty, I spotted a Bigfoot there, and the flash was coming from the Bigfoot's hand. And then with more study on it and asking MK what kind of minerals and stuff was there, and he told me it was gold and quartz. So I was able to determine that what this Bigfoot was holding in his hand that caused that flash of light as the camera panned and lined up right in line, specifically in line, that flash was actually from a quartz rock it was holding in its hand.
It's just like me. It takes quartz rocks everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no way. Wow.
So then after he showed me the satchel that she was carrying, I was able to determine that that was her medicine bag. She's a shaman. She had the scalp lock on her hair, which was identical to the one that chased me in the truck that time. So in her satchel, I was able to determine that it had a shoulder strap, and that she was only keeping her left hand hid to steady the pouch that she was carrying, the satchel. And then MK told me that some Russian scientists was the ones that found that satchel, but they thought she was carrying it. And then after we discussed it, it was pretty clear that she was just guiding it with her hand to keep it hidden down by her far side, which would have been her left side.
Wow. If that is a piece of quartz that is in her, you said it's in Patty's hand, right?
No, it's in another one's hand. It's one that was up in the woods right above Patty, and you could see it move and clearly tell it was a. Wow. They like the Yakimo like them to call it forest people, and then he had one in another frame that was a set of frames that we watched and studied each frame, and as we got to each frame, you seen what looked like to be a juvenile Bigfoot sticking his head up over a stump and ducking back down. Well, after I studied it and was able to see one side of it when it exposed it beside the stump, I didn't say anything to MK about it, but I discovered it was a small person. So it's the little people. So I asked him, had they found any little tracks in the sandbar? And he said they did. They found really small tracks. But I didn't let him know that it was little people. I probably should have, but I didn't want to interfere into his taking that film apart. But he was a good investigator. He'd have made a really good detective, because he was able to show in the left-hand side of the film frame that was like a little water hole there, but it was full of blood. And it showed, we were able to darken the contrast and show that horses had been through there, but somebody was handling an attack dog. And that dog's feet was bloody. And so on this side of the log, it shows it going up to it, and then it shows where somebody had it on a leash and pulled it back. And then you have two different size handprints, Bigfoot handprints, on that log this side of Patty.
Whoa.
So
that's wild. That's a lot of detail right there.
Yep. And so we were able to darken the contrast and actually see the Bigfoot prints. And if you don't darken your contrast, in law enforcement, we took black and white pictures of crime scenes because that showed more. If you don't darken your contrast, what they were calling white sand in that film was actually gray sand. So by darkening the contrast, the footprints come out perfectly. So we got the set of footprints that goes up to the log and footprints that cross the log. So in my opinion of it, by dealing with firearms and stuff, somewhere around that outside of that left-hand side of that frame, whether a Bigfoot was shot that day, that morning, or later that day, meaning the day before, and had fell in that watering hole of that creek and turned that water red, that's what the dog went through that was tracking these things, and they were on horseback. And then when we darkened the contrast, we could actually see the horse footprints.
Wow.
So there was quite a bit in there that we were able to break down.
Boy, that would have been a great conversation to listen in on. I tell you.
I wanted to video it, but in respect to Mr. MK, I didn't even ask, you know, because he's been working on that film for years and he's done a fantastic job.
Oh yeah, he has. I agree with you on that for sure. I think MK is great. I love him to
Yep,
death,
yep.
and a
Very
great
smart
researcher.
man.
Yeah, he's
Very,
definitely picked apart that video, hadn't he?
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But she was headed to, I believe she had come there with some more to retrieve. Uh, in my personal opinion, I didn't say this to him, to retrieve this Bigfoot that had been shot in the back. All the evidence showed that it had been shot in the back. Now, it didn't show the Bigfoot because the bleed over when the film was developed on the left-hand side did not show it, but you could see the big red circle of blood.
Mm-hmm.
And then on a limb, some that you would think, as the film's playing without it being in frames, that you would see leaves like it was autumn, but that was actually blood on the side of the leaves.
Ooh.
So this logging crew evidently sent in a hunt team, and were after him. And I think Patty come there to retrieve that Bigfoot and was taking him to a ceremonial mound because she had all the ceremonial things to do that with.
Oh, with her bag, her little her medicine
Yeah.
bag, and all that stuff. Whoa! I tell you what, that's interesting, and it makes sense. You know, that film has come up with a lot of controversy this past year. You know, so they say that it's like
Yeah.
in cycles. Every few years, it's just like another controversy where that film is being disproven, and people are trying to disprove it and stuff. But
There's no way you can disprove it. It's what's on that film is on that film.
mhm.
It's not been hoaxed. It's not been added to. Uh,
Yeah.
People tend to look at it, you know, if you're just looking at Patty, you miss a lot of things, and that's what people look at. Everybody's not trained in investigation or detective work. They're not looking at the surroundings. They're not looking at the ground. They're not bringing your contrast and colors in and out to see what was actually the color of the sand, what was actually the color of the log, what was actually the color of her. And then people think that as I look through those frames, one by one, she didn't have fur on her. It's hair that covers, just
Mhm.
like us. If we were turned into the wild young, you know, women shave their legs and stuff, men shave their beards and stuff. Well,
Mhm.
we naturally grow hair, especially if we ain't got clothes. Clothes tend to keep the hair wore off of us. So she has long patches of hair that covers these spots. And so in between her butt cheeks, you could tell that where she had been sliding maybe into a caves or going under logs, where she's so massive,
Mhm.
or climbing over, she had bare spots there. And that would be indicate to us also. We would have bare spots in certain areas where she would swing her arms uh, on each side there. Then actually she'd have shorter hair, meaning bare spots that like
Mhm.
a man wears his breeches and stuff. A lot of times when he's out working, his Levi pants or whatever will keep the hair on his legs cut back naturally, wore back.
Mhm.
And with
Bald
her,
spots. Yeah.
she's just a giant human being.
Mhm. A giant hairy human lady.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
And
man.
I
Yeah.
was trying to get the zoom on the what I call the purse. The Indians call it a sachet,
Uh-huh.
uh, because I wanted to see what the markings were on this fold up piece of leather satching that she had, to see if there was certain any beads or any markings on that. But we just didn't have the time. He had to go
Mhm.
into the conference and speak. But we were making. He even made the comment of all the years that he's been researching it. Between me and him, we made some uh, new lighting on the subject.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love it. That's what this is all about.
Right.
And that's why I love going to these conferences and meeting people and other researchers and stuff, just to throw ideas back and forth. And yeah, I love that. I love that. We had a question in the audience. I think Bigfoot Dwarf was like, "Well, if there was a massacre, where there should be bodies." And I'll just tell you what I was told. Okay, this is what I was. I was told that their bodies were actually dissolved in acid. That's what I was told. Now I don't know if that's true. What have you heard, Bruce?
Okay. I only got to see the film until I met MK. And on the film, and then going back through the years and doing the research on why Mr. Patterson and Gimlin were there, it was due to a logging company that hired people to come in there to run these things off and hunt them. And so I was able to find in my research that these things were tearing up their equipment and stuff, and that was their excuse. They did find massive, huge prints, the employees of the logging crew. So in my opinion, since this was on the Indian reservation, that if these things were to come out to be absolute truth, meaning all this come out, then the logging industry would have got shut down right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna let that happen. Not with the concatenated order of the hoo running things out there. And there's secret society of lumberjacks and stuff.
There's two rock altars up there that are off limits to anybody. It's only used to train shamans, medicine people. That's the only people that are allowed at these, and that's where she was headed. So whether the Bigfoot was killed, shot in the back, but her job, she's like the head of the clan, which I had already run into that myself in the woods by dealing with one that was the head of the clans that had braids. The scalp lock is always on the right side, and braided. They'll use what I call drill arrowhead rocks with long spears, and the most significant, highest ones on there will use bone. So they'll put that bone up there and braid around that bone. So that scalp lock, to indicate her status, high status, was on the right-hand side. The braids there, and it was a fish bone, a big fish bone that was braided into it. So everything matches up with my investigation on the one I was interacting with and still interacting with as the leader of the clan.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Man, that is just absolutely cool. Fantastic. And yeah, I mean, I wonder that film will be studied and scrutinized for centuries to come. But forever. It's amazing though.
You know, people, like I said, people tend to look at Patty herself and not pay attention to the surroundings. The surroundings in a criminal investigation reveal a lot of what happens. A friend of mine named Pat, who's a detective out of Nashville, he had a photographic memory. He would walk into a murder scene with us, and he could just stand there and look, and he could tell you what happened. Well, that's what it takes in this film. Through these frames are better than the negatives. And he got this film from Miss Patterson. So these are better than negatives from photos. And it clearly shows you just have to change your contrast, because as things get older, this film wasn't taken good care of. Your contrast turns to get higher, meaning it gets wider. And so a lot of things you have to bring that contrast down to able to see what's in that around her. So yeah, there's a good 5 to 8 other Sasquatch in that video besides her, and a small person.
Wow. You know that. So go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
You're looking at a 3.5 to 4 foot small person in there that's not a Bigfoot.
Whoa. So well, I was just gonna say that we've historically found small footprints around where we're out there Bigfooting, and we just assumed that it was juvenile Bigfoots, babies. I mean, there have been times where, you know, Bob, one of my teammates, he was out and found one tiny footprint on the side of a creek, one tiny, like the size of a child, like a toddler, basically.
Right.
And it makes more sense that that's not just some lost, because we were like, well, maybe it was a lost child in the woods, but no, I think it may be a little person.
And so, with my investigations here in Tennessee, when I found the Bigfoot graves, and then over next to the Bigfoot graves, I found the pygmy graves. Okay. And then when I went down the creek out of my peripheral vision, I seen what I thought was a small person. Mm-hmm. Now, logically, I'm looking for a small person, somebody I can talk to, interact with, see if somebody else is in there with their parents or something, which in that area, I'm the only one in there. So I ruled that out. But going down the creek, in certain areas, the water is knee deep to waist deep to ankle deep. In one of the holes there that was knee deep, there was a 5-inch print, no wider than an inch, in the middle of that hole in the mud.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so that's not a Bigfoot print.
That's a weird kind of print.
Yeah, it didn't have the splayed feet like normally a Bigfoot juvenile would have, or a Bigfoot. It was identical to maybe a year to a year and a half human baby. Just a little bitty print.
Wow. Well, since we're on the topic of that and the graves that you have, we actually have some videos that you sent me that are pretty fantastic.
Right.
You know, the last time, I think it was the last time you came on the show, we talked about the pygmy graves in Tennessee. That was one of my favorite topics. I just think it's fantastic. And those stretch from north to south, all down the middle of Tennessee, kind of over to the east. And so you did some exploring recently. Is it okay if we show those videos today to the audience?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I don't think that we're going to be able to talk. It's going to mute us while I play these because I have them uploaded to my program here. So do you want to kind of explain to us? Let me see which one. I mean, I can play either of them first. I've got the first one you sent was the Bigfoot grave, I believe. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is the right one. Yeah, I think it was. Hold on. I'm going to play a quick clip of this, and you tell me which one's which, okay?
Okay.
I'll play it for like 3 seconds.
Zach Zone.
Which one was that?
Okay. That was the pygmies that the Native Americans dug up to take their weapons so they wouldn't fight them in the afterlife.
Let's play that real quick. I'm going to play this. It's about 49 seconds. We're going to play this, and then you tell it, get into detail of what that is, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's play this for the audience. Here we go.
Zach Jones and myself are investigating this. Old Indian burials, burial grounds.
Very cool. Did you say Zach? That's the guy that I met at the distillery.
Yeah, I introduced y'all. Yeah.
I like him, dude. He's got some good thermal footage of Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a thermal footage that we did in a cave system that the one I stuck my face in that Dogman was a foot from my face, and I say just about touched my nose. And
Ooh.
we stuck his thermal in there, and then we got the heat signature of it. So he's got that.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
with those pygmy graves there, they're normally about 3 foot deep. They're 2 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 feet long. And they're generally, when they're dug out like that, they're generally a little bit wider. You'll see in there those smaller flat stones. That's what they line the sides with, the top and not the top, but the very top of the ends and the foot ends. And then the bottom of it will be the 2 to 3 foot flat stone, maybe 2 inches thick. The top of it will be another flat stone that will cover that entire thing. But the sides and the ends of each of those graves are put together with those smaller flat rocks.
Wow.
And so the Indians, the Native Americans who warred with these, would go in there and dig that up and take the weapons, their little spears and stuff, take them out so they wouldn't have to fight them in the afterlife. Now, to the left of that video, when you played it, there's actually a bigger grave there with a giant human skull in it. Now, I wouldn't take the video of it. I talked to Mr. Zach on that. I was like, I'm superstitious. I don't think we ought to video that. And that's over into a deeper hole with a longer mass of stacked short stones. If you play that video again, when it starts, if you look to the left-hand side of that video, you'll see the stacked rock in the wall. And that's where, right in front of that, that's where this giant, it's about 4 times of a human skull. And it's down in the hole, and it's very well preserved. There's nothing bothered it. So
wow.
it's in that burial ground with the pygmies.
Oh my gosh. I wonder why are they placed there together, do you think?
They run together. A lot of people that get out here and have a Bigfoot encounter also notice at times, not every time, that they have seen small people in these areas. These little pygmies, or they got different names for them. Here we call them pygmies. And that's on that warrior's path that that you showed a map of here a week or two ago, where the pygmies are buried all the way down that map. And that's a very, very, it's very interesting. You will see in some of the graves or where the natives dug them up, they actually started a fire in some of those graves to burn the higher uppers in the pygmy thing, because they didn't want them to come back in the afterlife.
Wow. I was trying to find the map, but I can't find it that quick right here. But that is really cool. Super cool. And I wanted to go back to the Bluff Creek, because Bigfoot Dwarf has an interesting comment. He says he spends time up there researching. He says there's an area near Bluff Creek that natives say the little people be. That's where the little people live, up there nearby. So that makes sense.
Yeah, they do run together, and they do look out for each other. They'll look out for the Bigfoot will look out for them.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool that you went there and filmed that. And to have the respect to not show that skull, I think I would have done the same thing.
Right.
You don't need no giants haunting you in your sleep at night and stuff. Okay.
Right.
Would be worse than that, probably. Okay, maybe. Even though I like to stay positive about stuff.
Right.
Things that are off limits, out of respect.
Right.
Now do you want to watch the other video? Now the other video would be a Bigfoot grave, right?
Yes, several of them there. Yes.
Several. Okay, let's play the video and then we can talk about this one. All right.
Okay.
This is about another 43 seconds, y'all. Here we go.
Here's a cave next to the Indian bar pit. Goes back under there pretty good ways. I can't see the end of it. Rocks are blackened with smoke. You can see how they're stacked here in places. Got flat rocks going into it that were put in there.
Oh my gosh. One thing that just stood out was the black smoke on the rocks, Bruce. And is that where something would have been smoked out of there? Or is that just where someone had like ceremonial smoke, or is it where somebody was getting out of the rain and built a fire?
No, that's ancient fire pits. That's ceremonial when they bury their dead. They have ceremonies like we do. Okay, the flat rock, the long flat rock there that you see is the top of one of the graves. Again, they will use the shorter rocks that I showed on the side that was out on the side sticking up. They will use them for the sides, and they may put two of them together. And then at the head of them, they will stack a rock like a pyramid, smaller rocks. But they'll, to the right of them, always to the right of them, they'll have a ceremonial pit. So they did use fire.
Wow.
And people ask me, well, how did they get fire? Well, if you clack two quartz rocks together, you get sparks. So they knew how to make fire.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a rituals that they go through, and that would have been a Bigfoot like Patty, who had all the knowledge and was the leader. She would start the spiritual, just like we bury ours, you know, and in a funeral home we say prayers and we pay respect to the dead. They're the same as us now. Again, you go back, they don't have fur now. That's the reason why a snake in New York showed one was covered with fur, and as soon as I seen it, I knew it wasn't real. That's carpet. All that is shag carpet.
Oh, that came out as definitely fake, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hair. They have long hair that comes down and covers, you know. If you pulled that long hair up in spots, it would be bare skin just like ours, you know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you know, Cornell University came out and said that they did not test any DNA from that guy, from any kind of Bigfoot creature. They said they made a public statement about it, actually.
Right.
Yeah, we called that one.
When anybody with a first name Snake looked like him and drag a Bigfoot out of a park area, it's not going to happen. And if you look at the hair on this specimen he had, it was made of carpet fibers. It's not hair like, you know, like the hair on your head that you've got. If you pull your hair up, you can see your ears and your neck and everything. Well, a Bigfoot's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
They're more human. They're just massive. Mm-hmm. They got bigger glutes. Everything about them is just bigger.
Big old booties. That's right.
The only difference between their hands and our hands is they have a break like that in their hands. They have a Y. Mm. That curve.
Like an ape. Kind of like a primate, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. And they have that. So you get your good prints when they touch logs and stuff. And especially if their hands are dirty and they touch a smooth log that doesn't have any bark on it, then you can see when it touches, if it goes over, it's just straight up and down because it's got that curve in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we found some good handprints around. I think I picked up at least one handprint at that investigation I did on Thursday. And David right here, David Pardew's in the chat again, him and Ed. And he's got some great pictures of some handprints on a it's the bathroom at one of the campgrounds at a place that they research. And you can see the hands, and it's just like how you described it. They're huge, big old hands.
And when they touch your winder, it'll be like this, and then when they push, it straightens that out and looks like one big spear. So that last 3 or 4 inches of that print is smeared, and then you get the ball of your points, and you get your epidermics marks, and that way you can if you take a I used to use a fingerprinting kit and dust that, and take an index card, flip it over to the back side where it doesn't have the marks in it, and lay a piece of tape on that, and rub that tape on that print, and then pull that tape off gently and put it on the back side of that index card, then you got your perfect prints.
Ooh, that's good to know.
Yep.
Yes, how to investigate crimes with Bruce Brown. I love that. But that is wild. You know, I just did a show on Monday about cryptids using tools, and we were actually kind of talking about, you know, them clanking rocks together and using rocks, and even potentially using human tools they found at campgrounds and stuff to complete tasks. And the question was, well, do Bigfoots make fire? Do they know? I'm sure they know how.
Well, if you take, there's other rocks to do it, but quartz is the easiest. You take 2 pieces of quartz and pop them together, they'll spark. Okay. Now, when you get to the tool aspect of it, me and Zach Jones went under a mountain bluff, and we found a pair of needle-nose pliers in the middle of nowhere. This is a long ways, and it was laid in an ancient fire pit up on a rock ledge. And it was a pair of needle-nose pliers that you buy at the hardware store.
Yeah.
And and you're going to laugh at this, but this is the truth. Zach can back me up on this. We found a can of Wieners.
Wieners.
Okay. The pull tab wasn't pulled. It was pushed in. The lid was pushed in perfectly. And what the sausage was come up around the lid and out.
Oh my God.
So the lid wasn't bent or anything, and it was not pulled. It was pushed in perfectly.
You know what? So that tells me that Bigfoots will eat Vienna sausages. So I should just take them in my backpack and leave them out. Put them in front of the trail cam. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Some Wieners. Yeah. Oh man. Well, that's really interesting, and I can appreciate that. It makes you wonder: are they taking tools from campsites and stuff and actually utilizing those like humans do?
Yes. The only thing I could think of with this is they took a farmer's pair of needle-nose pliers and took them way in the middle of nowhere, and they put them up on this ledge in this ancient fire pit. Our tracks were in there. Okay. There's no way for the weather to get into this, for the rain or wind to wipe the tracks out. Well, our tracks was in there. When I went back a couple weeks later, our tracks weren't there anymore. And then what I found down the hill was a broken piece of cedar limb, and somebody swept that floor.
No way.
So, I mean, you're looking at, they erased our prints.
Well, do you think it was Bigfoot, or do you think it could be feral people out there?
Well, it's all the signs of it are Bigfoot. You know, Bigfoot or the small people.
Oh, the little people.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think the little people are much more common than I've ever given them credit for.
Yes.
Yeah. And that may be what's on the woman's property that I investigated on Thursday. She did see that 4 foot tall man. It was a full grown human man. but he was about 4 feet tall, and she said he had gray skin, and
Yes.
and it shape shifted from a dog to a deer, or a deer to a dog, and then to that man, and it seemingly opened up, turned a doorknob, and opened up a door to the darkness, and it went inside. It looked at her as it was doing it. And she was like, I saw it. She was like, I saw it. She's like, I know I'm not crazy. I told her, I was like, we're all a little crazy. but it's interesting because I think that could have been, I mean, could that be considered a little person if they're about 4 feet tall?
Oh, yes, yes. I've caught them out of my peripheral vision, and I know exactly what they were. I know they're a little bit more aggressive than the Bigfoot. They can be mean, so I don't actually try to track them and fool with them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're the ones that's bad where Bigfoot throws small gravels. They're bad about throwing acorns, and a lot of people don't know the difference, so think it's a Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, I have definitely been pelted with rocks and acorns before,
Yep.
and I don't think that was a Bigfoot. We think it was something different. It was something that whatever crawled out of that portal one night behind our tents. It was ominous, and we didn't sleep a wink. None of us slept a wink that night.
Yeah.
But we did turn in, and we didn't get out of our tents all night. None of us till the sun came up. It was weird. It was really weird. Like we were being hypnotically held captive by something. That's what it felt like. The next day after we snapped out of it, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like a trickster energy, I think. That's what I think. But speaking of throwing things, there's something that I did want to talk about with you today too, and that's out of Tennessee. Your specialty is Tennessee and Kentucky. That's where you live up that way. And I'd come across some information about it's called the Pitty Pat and the Pitty Pat we're going to call it Holler. Pitty Pat Holler.
Okay.
It's kind of down in southeastern Tennessee, I believe. And there's this area where people get pelted with stuff from the trees when they're walking at night. Travelers, hikers, locals, they're getting pelted with stuff. And there's a wide variety. You and I both know, I've been there to this area. I've researched out there. Smoky Mountains kind of area right there, Appalachians. And
Well, that's going to be more into the Cherokee National Forest end of it. That's going to be Hamilton County is going to be Chattanooga is going to be the main city of the county.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me pull up a map so we can show the audience where this is located.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just north of there is Oak Ridge Labs, one of my favorite things to talk about.
Yeah.
And Cott County, where Amber Miller and Tony Aaron's got mauled to death,
Right.
as well, unfortunately.
That red mark is going to be Hamilton County, and the center of that mark towards the Georgia line is going to be the city of Chattanooga at the river.
Mm-hmm. And that's at Chickamauga. We just talked about Chickamauga on Saturday night with Old Green Eyes. That's the same location right there.
Yep.
My goodness, that's where I drive to go to Kentucky. Drive right through there.
That particular road there that everybody sees so many different things. There's Bigfoot been spotted on that road that you're talking about. There's been in 1860, and on 1860, something jumped out on a horse that caused it to go berserk and flipped the carriage over and killed a baby when the carriage flipped over. And then through the Civil War, that was seen by several Civil War soldiers. And it was referred to at one time as a wampus cat.
Oh, yeah.
And
I was going to ask you if you think this is the wampus cat we're talking about, because
yes.
that's the conclusion that I was coming to with that, but I wasn't sure.
And then people who have rode horses, I think a doctor had written a statement on it, and another person. It took prominent people to write about it because your everyday people, again, are superstitious and wouldn't talk about it. And if they did, they surely wasn't going to write a statement on it. And that goes on. That goes on till today. It jumps out on their cars and stuff.
It does. It does. Well, I've got some more information right here on it, and I was going to pull up some more pictures, but here I'm just going to read a little bit. So this is actually called Shipley Hollow Road. It's in Sale Creek, Sale Creek, North Tennessee, South Tennessee, and
crosses
mhm.
Shipley Cemetery Road too.
Okay. Yes. Oh, it's a well-known area for haunts. Okay,
Right.
and so it's, let's see. So it's home of the Pitty Pat creature. Now I'm going to tell you why it's called the Pitty Pat creature, because this thing sounds like it's pittering and pattering, pitty patting around. Whenever people are encountering this thing, they can hear its footsteps, which is different than a Bigfoot. A lot of times Bigfoots are totally silent. You won't hear them. Dogman too sometimes. But it's a strange cat-like creature, and this thing has been around for over 150 years. And like you said, they do jump in front of cars or horses. Back when they had horse-drawn carriages, it would jump down from trees and it would scare people. And so, let's see. You're right. So it says the it's between the cities of Dayton, Chattanooga, on the Tennessee River, and people say they stay away from Shipley Hollow and Shipley Hollow Road. It's also known as Pitty. What is that? Pitty Pat Hollow. And they say that since the 1860s, there's been a shadowy creature that has it's not only scared people, it scares the horses, causing the horses to run off and the people in the carriages to fall out. And a baby was taken by this thing, whatever it is. But they say it has cat-like features. To me, it does sound like a Black Panther. Or, I mean, we were just talking on Old Line Cryptids last night. We got into the conversation about the feline humanoids, Bruce, that people are encountering. And there's actually there's a state park ranger or multiple state park rangers in Missouri that shot at some of these things. They said they're I want to say about 5 feet tall or more. I can't remember how big they said they were exactly. But there was a group of them in a park in Missouri, and they were shooting at these things. I mean, that's a little scary.
In 2011, between there and Coker Creek, Tennessee, which is right up on the line with North Carolina, just a couple of counties up there, to Etowah, I had a 96-year-old woman call me, and she got my number from the post office there, where I had been to Coker Creek gold prospecting. And I had run into, me and my wife had run into, we were camping there, and we heard a Bigfoot call echo down those hollers. And then after that, drums beating and chanting for 4 hours straight. So I asked around in the community about that. And to tell you how much I got involved into it, I moved into Coker Creek, Tennessee, just to study this. So I lived up there for a year in the Cherokee National Forest at Coker Creek to study this. Well, this 90-something-year-old woman, nobody would believe what she was seeing in her backyard and around her house. And she kept calling it a Black Panther. And so I'd gone up there and talked to her, and she had me to put trail cams out attached to her house. And on that, we got pictures of a Black Panther. But the problem is, this panther was bigger than a panther should be. It was a mountain lion size, but it was totally black. So yeah, there is some strange things up there. And when I asked the TWRA about it, Tennessee Wildlife Resource Management Agency, they said every now and then a mountain lion would move through, but it was the wrong color for a mountain lion. And that's all they would talk about on it. And I said, well, she's having a problem there with this coming into her house yard very often. And that she even thought about taking a shot at it. And they quickly advised me to advise her that if she does, she's going to be in trouble. That right there. Yep. That's exactly
like, it doesn't
what
exist. Doesn't exist, but don't shoot it.
Right. That's the exact thing that was on my trail cams at her house.
Gosh, that is scary. That's the exact same color of that thing that I saw on the side of the road in Alabama. It looked just like that. It was a mix between a panther and I always say this, a dog, a panther, and a bear. It was huge.
Yeah.
But it was dark as night, just like that.
Right. It's the black as you'll ever see.
Oh man, that's scary. Okay, that's scary. And I think that these, talking about coming down from the trees, these things pounce on people from the trees. Like they will jump on you from up high.
And that's what was jumping on the horses back in the day. And at 1860 or 61 on Pitty Pat Road, that's where one had jumped out on the horse and attacked the horse that caused the carriage to lose control and flip and kill the baby. Okay. The woman got hurt, but they never found the baby.
Yeah, that's tragic. Very tragic. Whatever it was, carried. They said the stories that I read said that whatever this was carried the baby off.
Yes.
And they never saw it again. The mother was injured. I guess she couldn't get up.
Well, she could see it, and it did get the baby, but searchers could never find the baby.
It took her baby. Yeah. I mean, could you imagine? That's absolutely terrible.
And to this day, you can go down that road late at night and have an encounter with a woman in a white dress looking for her baby.
So this is not just, okay, there's flesh and bone creatures out there. There's cats. There's got to be Bigfoots out there and probably Dogman as well and other stuff. But we've got a lot of ghost stories that come out of this area. Yes. A lot of ghost stories. Yes. And they're all kind of interconnected like there. It's almost like I kind of joke around about how one of my research areas is called the Skinwalker Ranch of the South. Like all the Smoky Mountains right there, all the Appalachians, this is all Skinwalker Ranch. Okay. Of the whole South right there, in my opinion. There's everything out there.
Yes. And when you get into this, there were several, besides this woman incident, there were numerous other incidents of the exact same thing on that road. And as buggies turned into cars, we advanced throughout time. They're still having this thing jump out on cars or jumping in the road out of a tree in front of a car, causing people to wreck. So that's still going on to this day.
You know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the old green eyes that we were talking about on Saturday in Chickamauga, which is right there, right below it.
Which would have been a war soldier.
Yes. Yeah. We were theorizing on Saturday that maybe it was a werewolf. The old green eyes was some sort of people calling him a ghoul, but I think it's possible he could have been a werewolf.
The stories on that out of Chickamauga says that it was a man eater. That it was a man, a soldier that looked just like any other soldier, but at night its eyes was turned green, and there were so many soldiers' bodies laying in the fields that it was actually caught eating on those bodies. And I don't know whether they killed it or not. I mean, that's about all I know of that story, you know. And it was journaled by I want to say a captain or a first lieutenant. It was in his journals.
It lives on to this day, and people are still encountering the glowing green eyes in the woods, and they are wrecking on the side of the road or off the side of the road. There's a curve by the battlefield on one of the main highways right there. It's not very well traveled right there. I mean, it's out in the country, but I'm sure they get plenty of traffic there, considering it's a national landmark out there. Right. And people go to visit it, but people still to this day have wrecks right there because they see these glowing green eyes. Now, could somebody be messing with people with flashlights in the woods? Yes, they could. But people claim that's not what's going on out there.
No, you would be it would be bad to jump out on the car playing a prank because you get yourself run over because you scare somebody, they'll floor it, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, out in the country, people carry firearms too. Okay,
Right.
so
They don't
I
mind
would
running you. They don't mind running you over with their truck and getting out and shooting you.
exactly. They make sure it's dead. Okay,
Yeah.
and so I would not advise anybody to go playing around in the Appalachians ever. Like that. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of this. It's like a long time haunt. I mean, it's been almost
Right.
2 centuries. Okay, it's been no, I'm not gonna say. Well, I guess it has. It's 2020 something. So
Yeah.
a century and a half of haunts that are recorded. Okay, since the Civil War out there. Same at Chickamauga and at this place, at what they're calling Pitty Pat Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it makes sense here in the pitty pats. I mean, that's what it. I mean, cats are also silent in the woods as well. But if anything, pitty patted, it'd be a cat, Bruce. Right?
Right.
That's
And
the way I think.
there's witnesses that also this thing has shadows from them going down that road. In other words, being in the woods just within eyesight of him, but following them.
Oh.
So there's several accounts of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. We get paralleled in the woods occasionally but we believe it's probably Bigfoot doing it when it's in my instance. But also another thing I wanted to point out is, you know, when we were up in North Carolina, we were watching the self-illuminated eye glow on these Bigfoots, and one set of the eye glow was green. It had a green tint to it, very similar to old green eyes. It wasn't like neon green, but it was green. So it makes me wonder.
Bigfoot tend to have white eyes and green eyes. Yeah, they a lot of people don't understand that. It's like I don't know how many fishermen we have in the crowd here and the chants and stuff listening, but when you catch a crappie, you can catch a crappie in muddy water. And when you look at his eyeballs are twice the normal size of a fish of that size. So it gathers light. And then at nighttime, when you bring him up and you got your headlight on, he'll also have green eyes.
Yeah.
So I think it has a lot to do with nocturnal.
Yeah. Sounds right to me. It does. Okay. Well, let's see. This is interesting. Reverend Wolf says, think about how many satanic rituals take place in the woods. Oh, man. I mean, I wasn't going to go there with this, but this is something that's reoccurring as far as in the investigations and the research goes. There's a lot of backwoods cults out here, especially in the Appalachians, and, you know, voodoo, hoodoo kind of stuff. And it says, of the history, that's an accumulation of demonic energy. They're going to be things. A good example would be the Aokagawa Forest. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. In Japan. Is that the suicide forest? I think that's what they call it.
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, where everybody goes.
It is.
And that's the same as, okay, so that's the same as the Chickamauga battlefield. People go there to this day and unalive themselves there. Self-delete on that property. Like the fact that they go there to that property is just it's odd to me.
It makes you wonder, did they have that on their mind when they got there, or did something there change their mind into doing that?
They were being called there apparently, because Greg, who was my guest Saturday night, is one of those people. He said that he had plans to go do that to himself there on that property at one point. And he ended up not doing it, thank the Lord. Okay, but he said that there was something that was pulling him there to go do that. It's really sad. It's very heartbreaking. But you know, as in many of these cases, the land requires blood is the message that I get quite often.
It's sacrificial.
Yes.
It requires the blood.
It is. So thank you, Reverend Wolf, for mentioning that. And yes. And Northwest Native Tracker, thank you for being here. I have been watching your shows. And I absolutely love them. I need to get you on my show sometime. She says, we have black cougars in the Northwest. Yeah, the black cougars are pretty much everywhere, even though they say they're not out there. We say black panthers, and they're like, it's technically, I think they're supposed to be black cougars. right,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce? And that's kind of how I feel like people get away with saying we don't have black panthers, but really there's black cougars.
And the ones spotted in Tennessee from time to time are mountain lions, black mountain lions. They're just as big as a mountain lion. They're 200 to 300-pound cats. So that's a big cat.
It is. You don't want one of those sneaking up on you at night.
Right.
Most definitely don't. But oh, let's see. Oh, I had a couple more things I wanted to talk about actually with the Pitty Pat. Okay, because I think we're getting the idea that the Pitty Pat is probably most likely has always been a big black cougar or something, probably. But it's not to say there's not a whole lot of other stuff out in the woods. There's also some ghosts out there. And if you drive down the road, there's a street called Cap Elsia. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, but there was a steamboat named Captain Samuel P. Elsie, who actually had a bizarre encounter with the Pitty Pat. Let's talk about what the captain saw. Okay, so when he was headed back to his home in the holler late one night, he was riding his horse. He noticed a shadowy figure in the distance. He said that it was the same exact area where that wagon had crashed and the young child was taken. And he said it was just a few hundred mills past the old mill dam. He said that he'd heard about the legend. And so when he saw this strange creature in the shadows, he panicked. He turned his horse, a Kentucky thoroughbred, around and headed to the first house that he could find. He was so scared that he pounded on the door. The owner opened the door and he ran in the house. And he basically demanded that the person who owns that house scoot over in his bed because he was going to stay the night. Now, that sounds odd, okay? But for a man, especially a man who was a steamboat captain, they should be fearless, Bruce. But they say that's the story goes that he was so scared that he got the homeowner to scoot over in his bed.
Yeah, it was
What?
that particular story. Yeah. It terrified him so bad that he wouldn't even sleep in one of the rooms by himself. So he slept in the room with them. And it was him and his wife. And then the steamboat captain jumped in on the side the husband was on because he wasn't about to go to sleep. He stayed up.
Oh, I just would have stayed up and locked the door and been happy to be in somebody's house, I think. I don't know if I'd made him scoot over in the bed. That's weird.
Well,
times are different.
Yeah.
I guess. But I think that's kind of funny. But that's another one of the pretty well-known stories about this. And of course, it's like you said earlier, it's been known to spook horses. And that could actually be quite dangerous as well. Scaring a horse, especially if you're riding on it or whatever. But horses are scared by big cats. Okay.
Yes.
Any kind of low growl. I mean, how many times have we watched videos of alleged skinwalkers and stuff? There's videos all over the internet you can find of people riding their horses out west and they hear a voice saying, "Help me," or "Hello," or, making some kind of disembodied voice.
Or call your name.
Yeah, call your name. The horses react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely react to it. Almost like maybe there's an infrasound or something, or it's just the bad juju, the bad vibes, I guess, is putting off.
Right.
Yeah. The energetic brick wall, as I like to say. That's something that the Bigfoots can do as well, though. And the Bigfoots are also able to vocalize and stuff. So that's why I'm kind of making the argument here, if you want to call it an argument. I have a theory that this is not just one animal out there. I think there's probably several animals out there or creatures out there that have been wreaking havoc on this area for quite some time. And like you said a while ago, there's also tales of ghosts out there, and it could be the woman. I don't think the woman didn't die. I don't think it was in the first accident. Her baby disappeared.
Yeah, and she's still hunting her baby.
I'm sure when she did die, she went back to look for her child.
Right.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, the story I heard from the locals there is that she pretty much stayed on that road every day, going through those woods when she was alive, trying to find that child. Mm-hmm. Whether it was dead or alive, she wanted the child back so she could have a Christian burial.
Oh man, that's so sad. So tragic. And Northwest Native Tracker says, along the Columbia River, we have a cryptid called the Click-a-Tat cat. It's a large cat with a primate-like face. Ooh, that sounds scary. It kind of sounds like it doesn't, I don't know. I keep trying to make the connection to the Wampus cat as well. Historically, there have been tales of animals with like human faces as well. And I know the cat with a primate face similarly looked like a kind of like a human a little bit. But one that I'm thinking of, Bruce, is the Bell Witch case. You remember that? There was a horse or a donkey that had a human's face, I think.
Right.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there has been so much come out of that area. And actually, they were crews that went in and actually got good video, but it's never been released.
Who did the video?
There was 2 or 3 different TV crews that went in there and were guided in and got some incredible photo, but it was never released. And when I asked, I knew one of the guys that were there when the photos were taken because he was part of the crew. And he said they had so much bad luck from within days, from wrecking vehicles, from broken legs, hospital visits, staying in the hospital, lapses in memory loss, that they refused to release the video.
What? That is wild. Well, I mean, you mentioned that you didn't want to take a picture or video of that skull.
No, because respect, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that the spirits and the entities on that land are sick and tired of being sick and tired of all the hoopla and all the traffic they get out there. I would think.
Right.
Cursed, right?
If I went to Adams, Tennessee, to that cave, you don't even have to go to that cave. Just go to that field. It used to be a soybean field. I don't know what it is now. There's a field there and a huge tree in the center of that field. Even if you go there, you're going to get an attachment.
Yeah. Oh, well, I kind of joked around because like I want to go to Bell Witch Cave. Like I do. I just want to go once, right? Mm-hmm. But I also want to wear like a rubber boots. So like none of that. I don't want nothing to get stuck to my clothing. I don't want to leave there with anything. And I want to get a water hose and wash off my feet and everything before I leave. Just to make sure.
If you do it, just go to the creek down below the cave and sit down there and just wash your boots out and make sure you got everything out of the threads of it. And if not, leave the boots there. Get you a cheap pair of rubber boots from Walmart and leave the boots there.
I'm going to get some of those booties that you like the surgeons put on their feet when they go into surgery. Just wear those. It'll be fine. Take them off. Throw them away when you leave. And I don't know. Maybe I don't want to go there, but I do. I do, but I don't. I just want to experience that once. I want to go with John Bell's great grandson. Actually, Derek, if you're watching this, I need to get in touch with Derek. He's been on the show before. He came on the show a couple of years ago, and we talked about. I don't know if we talked about the Bell Witch. I think we did. But he's John Bell's grandson.
Yeah. Did you talk about the orbs there?
No. Yeah. I don't think so.
That field there is full of orbs, and many different color orbs. And then people that go there of a daytime to go back there have seen the orbs, and then they feel something walk through them to where it just stops them in their tracks, and then they instantly get cold, and it'd be 80, 90 degrees outside. And in just a few minutes, they warm back up.
Oh.
So, but they get a weak feeling. Just keep that weak feeling for a couple of days.
Well, that would indicate to me that those orbs would be more of a spiritual nature, like a ghost, a container for a spirit or a soul, I think. What do you think?
Yeah. And I think that's what wipes them out. Some of them get really bad headaches. Some that walk through there before they even get to the cave will end up having to go back to their vehicle because they get really bad headaches.
Mm. Oh yeah. That was one thing that I got when I went hiking a couple weeks ago, and I got overheated, and I saw something. I saw some strange creatures out there that thought were deer, but then they were dogs. It was just really weird. But I got a really bad. I don't ever get migraines except for when I got hit with some infrasound a while back,
Right.
and I had the same symptoms when I got home of when I got hit with infrasound.
By the time you hear an infrasound, you're already zapped. They start out low, below our hearing level, and come into our hearing level and go to a high pitch. But by the time you hear it, you're already zapped. And if you hang around too long, then you really get sick on both ends, if you know what I mean.
Both ends. Yep. Things are coming out both ends. Oh my
Nervous system is shot. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say I thought I had food poisoning, but I'm not going to get into any details. Okay, I was just vomiting. Right, but that's all y'all need to know. Okay, it was rough, and it can be, and it's like, what's the difference between like getting way dehydrated and stuff? And I was drinking water the whole time I was out there, and stuff like, and I was pretty hydrated. Right. By my standards, by my personal standards, I was hydrated, but it was hot, and my dog seemed to be fine too. So, but by my standards, my health standards is what I'm saying. I shouldn't have been that sick over that.
Right.
To where I thought I was dying, like I really did that night. So it sucked. It really sucked.
And infrasound will do that to you. And like you said, the first thing you'll think, if you've never had it happen to you, to where you can figure it out, is that you either eat something or drunk something that didn't set right with you.
Yeah. It's always the sausages. I always go straight to I'm like, did I cook these all the way? And I always do. So it's just, it's stuff we need to be aware of. And for whatever reason, I've either just been totally dehydrated this summer, or I have been getting zapped. Okay. A couple of times. And I always said that I wanted to get zapped at least once. And then I regretted ever saying that, because what I say usually happens. Okay. So like, I have to keep my thoughts pure.
Right.
And not what, sometimes you get what you wish for, and you don't really want that
10 times over.
That's right. And that's the same with even these cryptid sightings and stuff. Like people they want so bad to see a Dogman. They want so bad to see a Bigfoot, but it's very traumatic for a lot of people, Bruce. I think they regret it.
Yes. I've had people with me that their first Dogman sighting with me, they won't go back. I mean, they won't even talk about it. It's over with for them. They go home and they talk. One guy, his daddy's 70-something years old that was with me, that all he did was want to see one. When he got to see one, it scared him so bad and messed with him so bad. He gets home and his dad knows there's something wrong with him, and I asked him what happened, and he didn't want to talk about it. And his dad said, "Yeah, you went with Bruce and got with something other. You got something on you, didn't you?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "What did you see?" And he told me, he said, "I told you to stay out of them woods. Them wood boogers don't take kindly to that." But they didn't do anything. He just scared himself to death by seeing one.
Yeah. That was his own fears coming true right there.
Right.
And, something that I've been seeing a lot, and this is something that's kind of being pushed out to the public for whatever reason. It is out there. The people from Skinwalker Ranch are repeatedly talking about this on interviews that I've been watching. And also people, there have been, 3-letter agency guys, intel officers have been reporting that they're having these hitchhiker effects from places like Skinwalker Ranch. People go there, Bigelow talked about having hitchhikers that were affecting him and his wife. The new owner of Skinwalker Ranch claims that he's had hitchhikers, and people who have gone there for, they're just using that as a testing ground, I think, studying and testing probably weaponry and frequency weapon and God knows what.
There's some people talking about a new ranch adjacent to that called the Bradshaw. Have you heard anything about that?
I have. I've heard about it. It's very similar to that place. I mean, to me, here's my take on this. I think that these are places, yes, they have all this energy flow right there.
Right.
But I think that these private corporations and working alongside our governments and agencies are using that as just testing grounds.
Well, here in the last few years, the government pays private agencies to go in and do this and keeps their name out of it. It keeps the government's name out of it. So they will fund it under the table, under a disguise. And I think, that's what happened originally to Skinwalker Ranch.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think you're right. And but they're very much pushing the hitchhiker effect right now into the public, and it may be just part of the soft disclosure that's going on right now, or letting people know, like, hey, we're admitting that there are entities that will attach to you when you are in places of high strangeness like this. And the intel officer claimed that he had left. They didn't say it was Skinwalker Ranch, but I'm going to say it was probably Skinwalker Ranch. He flew home to DC from out there. What is that, Utah? I think. Yep. Flew home, and he had a Dogman in his backyard.
Yeah,
a werewolf. And so let's just say that, like, he really was dealing with skinwalkers out there, or some sort of a Dogman or something. They do, I don't want to say hunt you down, but you've had that happen to you when you went home. You asked me, when I told you that I had gotten I'd gone on a hike that day before I got really sick. I had messaged with you that night or that day, and you're like, well, I told you what I saw with those, like, shape-shifting dog deer, and you're like, well, you didn't take a direct route home, did you? And I was like, no, I made a couple stops, because they could follow me home, right?
Right. And they will. Yeah.
How dangerous is that, Bruce?
I would say it could get really dangerous if you didn't catch it right off. It could get really bad. And Dogmen, the Dogmen part of it, they're more curious about us. I'm not running any attacked me. I mean, they've torn my vehicle up, but they've been more curious. The only cryptid I thought that might kill me if it get a hold of me was a Bigfoot, but later I found out was a shaman, and higher up in the clan. So it may be was just trying to run us off by chasing us and running us down the road behind a truck. But the Dogman that followed me home 18 miles, and I left there and made a direct line home, but I had to stop behind school buses and stuff. So from the next one that tried to follow me home, I left the state of Tennessee and went into Kentucky and made my way through 3 or 4 counties and stopped at 2 Kentucky towns and had coffee and hung around for 30 to 45 minutes just talking about the weather and country stuff with the people that was there at the store. And then when I went home, I didn't have any problems with it. It didn't bother me home.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. After you said that to me, I was like, ooh, maybe I should have gone by the Waffle House and had some coffee or something.
There you go. Yeah.
Golly, gotten some tea or something. Yeah. Because it is very real. The investigation that I did on Thursday, the farm, the lady has she was telling me about it sounded like a Dogman. It's either a Dogman or a Bigfoot just walking around her house at night. You can hear it circling the house, walking around like on 2 legs, 2 feet, and it urinated on her house. Now, to me, I have heard multiple stories of that, Bruce. I was going to ask you about that. What do you think about Dogmen? And I don't know, maybe Bigfoot do it too, but have you heard about Dogmen urinating on people's property in their houses to, like, mark territory or something?
That's exactly what they're doing. They're marking their territory. And they've accepted her. If a Bigfoot does it and she can confirm it's a Bigfoot, then she has nothing to worry about, because they'll protect her at all costs. Nobody's going to come around her property and mess with her. I can't give a name, but I know a woman right now that her and her elderly mother live in the house, and they have a Bigfoot, and they named him. And if anybody comes up, a salesman or anybody down their driveway, they get the holy crap scared out of them. And sometimes their vehicles won't start and stuff until they come out, and they will say out loud and call this Bigfoot's name, please let them leave. We want them to leave. And their vehicle will start up. I mean, it's some of the wildest stuff I've ever seen.
Whoa. So they're manipulating energy out there.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Yep.
Well, us humans need to learn how to manipulate energy as well. Okay. Some of us know how. Okay.
Yep.
Just watch Stranger Things, y'all. Okay. And you'll see. Humans are capable of doing that, by the way.
Yes.
And
yes.
You just have to learn how to do it, how to focus your energy on that.
Right.
And to stay calm, right, Bruce? Stay calm if you can.
Calmness will get you out of a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
It'll cause you to make good decisions instead of bad decisions. And if you have something like that, if you're in the woods and come across a Bigfoot and he's screaming at you, just stay calm. Every now and then I'll scream back, and I'll try to make myself look as big as I possibly can. And sometimes they'll just stare at me after that, and there's no more hollering. And I'll gently go one way, and they'll gently go their way.
You're going to out crazy the crazy. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
Out crazy it. Actually, so I know this sounds crazy, but I was doing some kind of digging on snake bites this week. Don't ask me why. I got stuck on like an algorithm of watching people get bit by snakes.
Don't manifest it.
I'm not manifesting this, but this kid, by the way, there was a kid I think it was a high school football player out in Arkansas yesterday. This was in the news yesterday. He had a large copperhead in his helmet of his foot. He practiced in the heat for over an hour with a copperhead in his helmet. Have you not seen that? And somehow I was watching these videos. I actually have the video if y'all want to see it. I'll show it. I pulled it up. Okay.
You got it. Let's see it. Yeah.
And Northwest Native Tracker, thank you for that piece of advice. She says, never go into a dark place without a medicine bag on you. And that's wonderful advice.
Yes.
That's really good advice. Thank you for that. Well, here, I have some still shots first. Okay. I did some screenshots here. High school football player practices for an hour. Golly, y'all. Can you imagine with a venomous snake in his helmet? These are the screenshots that I took here. That's the snake. And let's see. Hold on. That's the inside. You can see its head poking out. The kid was saying there was something wrong with his helmet. And so they put his helmet in a bucket. They called animal control out because they saw a snake peeking its head out of his helmet when he took it off after he had worn his helmet for over an hour in the heat. And this is what they pulled out. That's a copperhead. That looks like a cottonmouth water moccasin to me.
It does me too. Copperhead here is more of a copper color. That's got a black and
that's
more of a
cottonmouth.
Yeah, but it's got the viper head, so whatever it is extremely poisonous. Wouldn't that be bad though for a young man to get bit in the head playing football? It would probably kill him.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be good, Bruce. That's for sure. Okay, let me pull this up. I've got the full video right here. Let me make sure it's okay. Here we go. Hold on, let me pause it. The venomous snake. All right, let me share my screen. Yeah, that looks like that's a cottonmouth right there. I don't know why I kept saying copperhead. Hold on one second. This is from CBS News, I believe. This is on TikTok. Y'all go over to the Cryptid Huntress on TikTok. This is CBS News on their TikTok channel. And I'm not going to play the volume on it, okay? But this is it coming out of the helmet. And they immersed it in the water so that it would start to drown basically, or it'd have to get its head out. And look, the animal control grabbed it as it came out. That was in this young man's helmet right there. That's crazy. Let's see. Yeah. I'm trying to see what people are saying over here in the comments. Yeah. It's a moccasin. Yeah. That's definitely a cottonmouth right there.
Yeah.
Golly. I know people get weirded out by snakes. Okay, I do too. I used to have a pet snake. Um, but that happened. That was in the news yesterday, and I was I think I was looking for that video actually of the man that was pushing over plywood and this rattlesnake bit him in the face.
Yeah.
Oh
My
man, I couldn't
my
find it though.
my father used to get on us boys real bad. He'd want us to wear them old mule skin leather gloves.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
we would remove stacks of tin and or boards that were stacked up because he said you pull one up and you get bit, and if you saw it quick enough, you could grab behind the head with that leather glove and be able to get it away from you. So, but he said he was bitten by reaching. They had a stack of tin and they were re-tinning the smokehouse. And when he reached down to get that tin, when he picked the tin up, it bit him on this side of the hand.
Ooh.
And it was a copperhead, a small copperhead, but
Man.
he went to the doctor, and I don't think they give him any venom. They just give him some shots, and that was it. But it was a copperhead. He took it. uh, he chopped the head off of it and took the head and the snake and put it in a bag and took it to the ER with him.
Oh man, that's what we've always been told that, because I mean I grew up in the country too. I grew up on a farm, and we always were told, if you get bit by a snake, you gotta kill it, and then you put it in a bag or something to take it to the emergency room with you. But today they say you don't really have to do that today. I mean, everybody's got a phone in their hand now. You just take a picture if you need to. But they say that there's just it's actually like universal anti-venom now. Is what I just read that somewhere, that you don't have to. It's not specific to each of the different snakes. You can take a universal one.
They in law enforcement, they trained us when we come up on those victims to bring the snake, because they can test the venom glands and see if it has bitten or eaten a squirrel or struck another varmint before it did them. Then you wouldn't get a deadly dose of venom from a big rattler. Now, our neighbor, I can't think of his name right now, right on the tip of my tongue. He lived up a mile from us, and he walked up to his spring and found some ginseng plants. He was just checking on his spring. Gravity flowed into his home, and next to a log there was a patch of ginseng. So he just got down on his knees digging the ginseng, and when he went to stand up, a big timber rattler hit him below the knee and broke his leg.
Oh my God.
It hit him so hard, he told me, he said it felt like somebody swung back with an aluminum baseball bat and hit him in the leg with everything they had. So he was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. Of course, they had anti-venom in Nashville that they flew up. No, I'll take that back. They had anti-venom in Erlanger and Chattanooga and flew it up to Cookville Hospital to give him the anti-venom shot. But he stayed longer in the hospital over the broken leg.
Oh God. Man, that was like that video I saw of that. I swear I've talked about this video every day for the past week. On my show, I bring up this rattlesnake video. I've got to find this and show it to the audience. I couldn't find it on TikTok. I think TikTok may have, deleted it or something. I couldn't find it, but it's on Instagram. But this snake hits this man so hard in his face when he opens it, and it strikes from so far away. It just looks unreal. And it hit him hard right on his forehead. And I can imagine. I mean, it could knock you out, I would think. That's how hard they hit.
My first encounter with rattlesnakes is we was on a military base in Florida. And Florida's nothing but sand. And at the playground set, my brother and 4 more other boys had found a nest of baby rattlesnakes.
Ooh.
And they were playing with them. Well, their teeth are so small, they're like little needles. Well, my brother got bitten a couple times, But this other boy who actually found him, he got bit 10 or 11. Well, he died there on the playground.
Oh
And
no.
then they rushed my brother and the rest of us to the hospital to check us out. Of course, they give him some kind of anti-venom, but the rest of us, they didn't find any marks on us. And we were all playing. We thought they were night crawlers. They were just little, big night crawlers. We thought they were like, 8-inch night crawlers, but they were little bitty copperheads.
Oh my God. What a nightmare.
Or rattlesnakes, I mean. They were sand rattlers. They called them sand rattlers.
Oh, man. Kids are like, hey, let's go fishing with these worms,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, they're actually more potent. Their poison is more potent in these little ones than there are even in the big ones sometimes.
Yeah, it's according. Yeah, the big ones eat quite a bit. If they, if you, I was ginseng hunting with my son, and I didn't know at that time I needed glasses, and I did, but I just didn't want to give it in. Didn't want to admit it.
I feel you on that one.
We were walking out a trail off of a point, and I stepped over this big limb. Well, he's coming up behind me just 20 or 30 feet, and he hollers, "Dad, come back here and look at this," because he had never seen a rattlesnake in the wild. And so we walk back. I turn around and walk back up, and it's a timber rattler.
Ooh, the worst.
And so he's got a hatchet. He cuts down a limb bigger than your wrist. He goes to pick it up, and it breaks the limb. Well, I've always told him, I said, if we come up one in the woods, don't mess with it. So I'm telling him not to mess with it. But by then, he's 21, 22, and he's hard-headed. I said, if it's not messing with us, let's go. Leave it alone. We don't want to take a chance of getting bit.
Oh, man.
Well, it had eaten a squirrel. And while he was messing with it, it pushed that squirrel back out. And that's the reason why it didn't strike me, because it had just eaten a squirrel when I stepped over it, or he would have struck me. Well, we carried it down to the hill, bottom of the hill, to a barn down there to a man's house. The man had what you'd call a feed bag scale. And we weighed it, and it weighed 115 pounds.
What?
So you're talking big part of him that big, and he was almost 10 feet long. And he was nothing but solid muscle.
What?
Now, we didn't kill it. We didn't kill it. We injured it, but we didn't kill it. And then we took it. We released it,
I hate to say that, but I don't know. If it was near my house, I don't think it would have survived that day. Okay.
Oh, no. We got it way back on the mountainside.
Okay.
So
golly.
For all intents and purposes, to cover myself, it's illegal to kill them. So we released it unharmed. Wink, wink.
Yeah. No belts were made in the making of this story. Or belts or boots. Okay.
Right.
Oh, that's terrible. Wow, that is absolutely wild. That's the size of like a big old python or something. That's huge. See, and that's the thing about these poisonous snakes especially, they get fat. Like that snake that I just showed the video of,
it's all muscle.
Kid's helmet. It's all muscle, and they're short and stubby a lot of times. That's how I grew up on a lake. We had a lot of water moccasins, and we had timber rattlers on the farm too. My brother and sister stepped right over one with my mom one day when they were out walking by the lake. But the water moccasins they're vicious. And the cottonmouths will come after you. But here's the good thing. We had a lot of king snakes down there by the lake. And the king snakes will eat the water moccasins.
The black snake will too. Yep.
We have black snakes too.
A chicken snake. We'd have a chicken snake in the barn. And my daddy would make sure nobody killed the chicken snake, but it would kill all the poisonous snakes. And so he had a VHS video, and it burned up in the house. But he had showed that, and people had borrowed that video from 2 or 3 counties to show. In his garden, he had a rattlesnake, a big rattlesnake. It was Daddy was at that time 6'1". The rattlesnake was probably 3 inches longer than he was. Well, this black racer had come up and was eating the rattlesnake. He had done swallowed 2/3 of them, and the rattlesnake died, but the black racer couldn't completely digest it. So to save the black racer, Daddy pulled the rattlesnake out of its mouth.
Oh, God. Yeah. What a nightmare. That'd be a nightmare for me. And you got to be careful with these poisonous snakes. You think they're dead, and they are dead, but their muscles still work, and they will still bite you after they're dead.
Yes, we always, Daddy always had us, when he didn't kill them or we kill one, rattlesnake or copperhead, would go up on the hill somewhere and take a shovel and dig a foot-hole deep and put that head in there and cover it up and let it, because he said the head was the deadly part. That's where the glands were, the poison glands. And so if you didn't discard the head properly, somebody could step on that and then stick in them and get that poison. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't trust it. I mean, I've seen my share of dead snakes. Okay. I grew up on a farm. We had so many snakes out there, and my dad never passed up an opportunity to lop a head off with a shovel. I'm just saying, y'all, I hate to say that, but I've seen some weird stuff out there. Yep. And I mean, because they were poisonous. Okay, it wasn't just any snake. I'm talking about the poisonous ones. And when you have 3 children running around a yard all the time, you know, playing on the play set, going down the lake, and, you know, riding 4-wheelers, whatever we were out there doing, you know, you can't be having poisonous snakes just sitting around, you know, sliding around the play sets and stuff and on the porch. So we had to, Dad took care of business. Okay. And sometimes, and so I was able to see, like, even with the head chopped off, that head can still bite you. And so that's something that always scared the living crap out of me. And I still don't like it to this day, thinking about it. But yeah, it's, the snakes are out in record number right now. Somebody in the chat had just said that, and that's 100% right. Please be careful out there with the snakes, y'all. Especially us, you know, cryptid field researchers, people camping and hiking. It's a very dangerous time right now. For whatever reason, the snakes are out full force right now. And so don't go kicking over plywood if you don't have to.
But right now, when we're in the what they call the dog days, and they're shedding their old skin, and their new skin is real tender, so they're hurting. So about anything that comes close to him, and especially if you step on him, you're going to get bit.
Yeah, you're going to get bit. That's right. Yep. And so just don't. And I need to quit watching so many snake videos of people getting bit. I don't know why I've been so. I got in the algorithm, so the computer did it for me. Okay. But I still, my curiosity has gotten the best of me. And I have, it's impressive watching those snakes bite. I'm just saying, it is. And,
my superstitions won't let me watch that, because I get it in my head, and when I go to the woods and I see one, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have been watching that stuff. You know?
No, that's why I have my walking stick that Pops made me. Gary made me walking stick. I carry that with me on all my walking trips. Oops. And and so maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help keep them at bay. Okay. Yeah. And I just hope so.
Get you a good pair of snake boots or snake chaps. Snake chaps are a little rough on your legs.
Yes.
The snake boots are better. Now they've come out with pretty good brands. They got the camouflage ones that's super light, like tennis shoes, and they breathe good, and they come up about the knees, and they're not hot on you.
That's the worst part. That's the only reason I haven't been wearing snake chaps. I actually have a set of snake chaps. Yeah. And I do have a set of them, and they are very hot.
Yeah.
And it's already hot as Hades out there. And so I don't know. I know, with all the snake talk, I'm going to have to start wearing them now.
Yeah. Well, get you a set of high top boots.
I've
and
got
they
my
work. Yeah, they work just as good as snake chaps or snake boots.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting sweaty just thinking about wearing those things. They're so hot.
Right.
So hot. Yeah. I have to wear shorts next time I go out. Shorts and mutt boots. Okay. Yep. Next time I go hiking. But I want to thank a couple people in the chat right now. Thank you, Amy, for gifting a Cryptid Huntress Hunt Club membership. That is so sweet of you. I appreciate your support so much. Oh God. oh my God, I just got shaky because I felt something.
You forgot to put your
Oh no.
sunglasses on.
Something started moving. One of the wires to my microphones moved, and I thought it was a snake, I think. You guys just saw me jump live on camera. That was a jump scare that I just scared myself on. Talking about snakes. Dang it. Oh, man. Candy Zippy. Thank you, Candy, so much. Great show today, guys. Thanks for coming on, Bruce, she says. Thank you, Candy.
Yeah, thank her. Thank her for watching.
I hope you and Willow are doing awesome, Candy. She's down in Florida where they do have a lot of snakes. They actually have snake roundups down there, Bruce. Would you ever be willing to go do a python, anaconda, boa roundup?
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah, that would be fun. Yes.
No, man, yes. I don't know about that. I don't know. I said I wanted to go. I told Lynn I wanted to go to one. Lynn Parsons came on the show, and she lives down that way. And it'd be fun. I think they actually do those down the Everglades.
Yeah.
Down around the Everglades, I think. And I still have not been to the Skunk Ape Museum. I want to go down there sometime. So maybe I'll knock it all out in one trip sometime and go hunt for snakes. But in Geneva, yeah.
Them pythons would be fun to catch.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they're fun. You got your big bag there, your sack. You catch them if you can get lucky enough to catch them behind the head and not let them twist back and break their teeth off in you. Yeah, Jesus. They'll actually break their teeth off in you.
I actually had a red-tailed boa constrictor named Kobe. Kobe was my snake. If I can muster up some pictures, I have pictures of me holding him, like have him. I'm holding him around my neck and stuff, and he was huge. I got him when he was tiny, and he got real big quick.
Yeah.
Over the years, but I had a snake, and he would bite me all the time.
Yeah,
I've been bit by only one snake, but multiple times. I'm talking about it would have to probably be in the hundreds. Okay, and he was big. He got real big, and so it got to be where like it didn't bother me to get bit by him, and yeah.
So you wouldn't have any problems catching boas then.
I mean, I still don't want to get bit by snakes, you know? And have you ever seen the videos of those people that are down there doing the snake roundups and they're picking up copperheads thinking they're boas and stuff?
No, I haven't seen that one, but I watched that one with Dusty on there, that guy that goes all the time catching boas and selling them back to the state. They pay bounty on them. Oh,
God. Yeah. Man, I tell you what, I know the difference between different types of snakes, but then again, I don't. Like when you're in the moment, I don't want to make a deadly mistake.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There are water snakes that look just like moccasins and stuff, and copperheads. There's water snakes and there's copperheads. I'm not taking my chances. I don't care. I'm not picking up the wrong one.
I used to noodle for catfish, and that means diving down under rocks and stuff, under rock bluffs. And then running a stringer, catch them, and then run a stringer, and then give it a couple jerks. It's tied to a rope, and the man in the boat would pull it up. And we went into a creek, and we didn't have to have a boat, so we were just going along on our bellies through the creek, reaching on these rocks. And I got lucky. I pulled out a 25-pound snapping turtle, and he didn't bite me. And I said, "I'm done with my fish noodling."
Oh my God, they will take off your body parts.
Right. Okay. You lose a finger quick.
Not just fingers. Okay. There's and it's not just snapping turtles. There's snakes, there's beavers and otters, and
right.
I don't even want to know what all's down there. Going noodling, that requires, some people stick their whole arms and legs in those holes.
Right.
And I think that is the dumbest thing I ever seen in my life. No offense to anybody who noodles. I think it's great. I would love to watch y'all do that, but I would never do it myself.
If you find one out in the lake and you stick your legs in first, and then if it's a big cat, he'll grab a hold of your leg, and you can tell it's a catfish. But a snake or a turtle, they'll hang on.
Oh my God. What is the fun in that? I don't say. You got to have a lot of moonshine involved, I would think. I mean, I might do it if I had some of that in me. I don't know, but I don't think I'd do it otherwise. And sometimes I see that people do stuff and I'm like, there's some brown liquor involved in that one. Okay.
Right.
I tell you what. That's country folks activities, y'all, in case y'all are wondering. And yes, frog gigging was a big thing when I was a kid, but noodling is a whole other level.
Yeah.
Okay, whole other. And I'm
Yeah.
glad to know that you do it.
Yeah.
Bruce, I'm not. Why am I not shocked? I'm not shocked. Oh man.
I was gonna take a boy the other day snipe hunting. You ever been snipe hunting?
I have not. Not yet.
Oh,
No.
you'd love it. You'd love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd take you. What we do is the newcomers, we'll just take them out and give them a 50 pound burlap sack. Then everybody gets together in the middle of the night and they run them to you. And then if you hold that sack still, they'll run them to snipe in your sack, and you just close the sack up.
Well,
And that's snipe hunting. Yeah.
Well, that's easy. You don't have to shoot anything. You just hold it open. Hold the bag open.
Here's the thing, though, Jesse.
Yeah.
It's a joke because we do that all the time in Tennessee as an initiation. And while everybody goes home and goes to bed and leaves the person out there with a sack all night.
That sounds like something my dad would have done to me as a kid. Okay.
But there actually is a snipe season in Tennessee.
Oh my God. Man. Yeah, I'm having flashbacks. Did that ever happen to me as a kid? Probably. No. Right after we got done swimming with alligators, I went snipe hunting. Yeah. I've heard that before. I'm sure my dad's told me about that before.
Yeah, he's probably sniped hunt. Yeah,
I'm sure he has. I'm sure he'd love to have taken us out there and done that. But anyways, that is too funny, Bruce. And yeah, I don't know. The most hunting I've done lately is just for Dogman and Bigfoot. That's all I've been looking for. And that's not really hunting. It's investigating. So Ingenib, thank you so much. What's up, Paula? She says, this is from Paula, her first time watching. Thank you so much, Paula and Ingenib. I appreciate y'all. And I hope you enjoyed the show today. We don't usually talk this much about snakes, okay? Or noodling and stuff, but I have been fascinated with all these snake bites that have been happening lately. And this kid actually sent the link to some of my friends, some of my research friends. We have a little group chat going. And I sent the article about the kid with the cotton mouth in his helmet. And David was like, oh, that was a spiritual, what did he say? Something about it being a spiritual awakening or something. And I sent a gift of people in church handling snakes, basically. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was equating that to, was I was thinking in my mind, I was like, that kid was protected by God. I mean, for real.
Right.
For that snake not to have bitten him.
Right.
Yeah. That's a miracle.
Yeah. That's what I was fixing to say. That's definitely a miracle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's got higher powers watching over him. But then again, can a snake actually bite you when it's coiled up like that and hiding in something?
Well, not really, because when I was ginseng hunting, it was early in the morning, probably about 7:30, and that's been probably 6 years ago. There was a copperhead wrapped around and around under a big 4-point ginseng plant. And I didn't see it, so when I pulled the top back to dig the root, he couldn't strike me, but when he raised his head, his tongue licked my knuckles, and I jerked my hand back. So he had to get his head up before he could strike me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got to be able to lunge, right?
Yep.
Got to lunge. Mm-hmm. Not to say they can't just open their mouth, right, and bite you.
Yeah, but they have to.
Close quarters.
Yeah. Order him to bite me, he had to get his mouth open. When he opened his mouth, that tongue licked my knuckle, and I jerked it back.
Oh, God. Weird the llamas. You were very lucky, too. Something was watching over you and protected you that day, too. Because that's wow. That was your warning. That was your warning. Your warning shot right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Well, here's my advice to the audience. Please check your boots before you put your shoes on. Okay. Make sure you don't have, I always check mine for mice. If I have them in the garage or something, I'll check for mice or any kind of critters in my shoes before I put them on.
Spiders. Yeah,
spiders. I mean, I don't mind spiders. I'll smush a spider in my shoe, whatever. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But it's the snakes that I worry about too. And Yeah, don't leave your shoes sitting outside. That may be rule number 1. Don't leave your shoes sitting outside.
If you do,
Definitely without looking in them.
if you do take your off and put you a quick spray of off in each one of your shoes, and snakes don't like the smell of that, they'll stay away from that. They won't crawl in there. Neither will bugs.
Good advice. Yeah, you can do that. Or just keep your shoes turned upside down, or even if you put them upside down, they can still get in there.
Right.
Okay, but yeah, snakes are they're pretty rampant right now, y'all. And at least on my social media feed, they are. Okay, and but yeah, well, Bruce, this has been a really fantastic show today. I've thoroughly enjoyed this one. And I think we covered a lot of great topics. I want to thank you for sharing your videos with us of the Bigfoot and the pygmy graves too. So thank you.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. I love having you on here. I do.
Well, I like being on here. I love being on here. We have a good time, great fun. We got a great chat down there, you know.
We do. We have the best chat on the internet. And I see it's Leah's birthday today. Leah, happy birthday. And Max, I think your birthday's tomorrow. Yeah, we got Leah and Max both have birthdays this week, I think, because I've seen it in the chat past 2 shows. So happy birthday to you guys. Happy birthday to everybody else who's got birthdays this week. Anything you want to celebrate, congratulations. Okay. And yeah, and I want to thank everybody for being here today. Everybody in the chat, y'all are the best. And and I want to thank Amy for gifting the membership today, and Candy Zippy, and also Ingenib and Paula. Thank y'all so much for the super stickers today. It means the world to me, y'all. And so Bruce, tell everybody where they can find you. You got a great podcast. You're a co-host over on the Cryptid Wrangler podcast. I've seen Daniel in the chat today, by the way. Where can people find y'all?
Cryptid Wrangler. We got a Facebook group. You can join. Make sure you answer all the questions so we can get you in it. And then every Friday night, 5:00 Pacific time, we have Cryptid Wrangler podcast, which in Central Time is 7:00, and Eastern Time is 9. Mm-hmm. 8 o'clock. Excuse me, 8 o'clock.
It's 8. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bigfoot believers and other creatures, you'll catch me on there with Daryl Denton's group. And we got a big bunch of people there. So we got over 70,000 members there. So join that. And you'll also, we have the Cryptid Huntress.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. Visit her site, come to her shows.
Thank you.
We always have a great time, and it's fun. So you'll catch me in a number of places, and if you don't see me there, then I'll be hid in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, you'll be exploring caves and stuff.
Right.
Man, yeah, I'm gonna be heading back up that way here in a couple months, so we'll have to meet up and do some exploring together. Okay.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Up that way. Okay, we'll talk about it behind the scenes. Okay.
All right.
But yeah, this has been great. Gosh, I really do enjoy having you here, Bruce. And
well,
so
appreciate
thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Of course. Let's see. Oh, we've got Facebook feed streaming live. We've got X streaming live, and we also have YouTube streaming live right now. So I see people from all 3 outlets in the chat today. So thank y'all so much for being here. And so y'all, please come back and see me tomorrow night. I have my good buddy Robbie Rains coming on the show with me tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a great remote viewing target for you guys. And Robbie's always fun to have here. And yeah, I can promise you it'll be about cryptids. We're not sure exactly what the target will be tomorrow night, but we've got a show planned. Okay, so y'all come back and see me then, and then come back on Saturday night as well, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll have some live shows for you guys this week. All right. Well, everybody, please stay safe out there. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you guys are from the Tennessee area, if you've had any experience with the Pitty Pat, put it down in the comments. Let me know. And please like the video, share it out, subscribe to my channel if you hadn't already, and go over to the Cryptid Wrangler podcast and subscribe over there as well. All right, y'all. Everybody have a great day. I will see you guys back here tomorrow night. All right. Head on a swivel, everybody, but have no fear. Unless you're looking, and always check your boots and your football helmets for moccasins. Okay. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.